Hey guys, it's another Sunday, which means we're prepping for our next video. Today we're actually going to be making a potato gnocchi with a sage butter sauce. So it sounds complicated, but it's not, right? We're making our own pasta, but really there's only 3 ingredients, which is really cool. The 3 ingredients are, over here, so we got about 2 of them right here. 2 potatoes, a cup of all-purpose flour, not pictured. We have 1 egg, and we're actually going to add a bonus ingredient, which you totally don't need to use, is about half of a cup of ricotta cheese. Just makes it a little lighter, but again, it's totally optional. So let's start prepping. So I'm going to probably take off a ton of the potato while I do this, which is okay. Use a peeler if you have it. I don't. So what we're going to do with these funny shaped potatoes is now just cut them in to about 4. So we're just going to cover it. It's not going to be all the way to the top. We just want to cover the potatoes. Cool. Put this on high. Okay. So we're going to let that go for about 40 minutes. We really want them to break down. The potatoes will be drained, right? We'll cool them down. Then in a bowl, kind of like we're making bread, we'll add about 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. Kind of mash in our potatoes and the flour, add the egg. We want to make sure this is cool enough to not cook the egg. Our ricotta cheese, a little salt, a little pepper. So we only have a few more minutes left on the potatoes. So we're gonna actually prep our sage for our sage and brown butter sauce. Sage smells so good. Please be quiet, kid. And we are actually just going to take them off the stems. So I'm just gonna pull the leaves off. We're gonna actually wash them. Roughly chop it. I'm actually gonna grab a good knife here. Okay, perfect. We can set this aside. We won't need these for a bit. So I'll actually put the butter on here as well. With the knife. All right, so our potatoes are basically done. There's about 4 minutes left. So what we're gonna do right now is we're actually gonna shut the heat off. We're gonna use our personal strainer and then just strain the potatoes into just a big plastic bowl. You can see they broke up while cooking, which is totally fine. So we're gonna mash this up. So again, we're not adding anything to this right now. It's just potato and a little bit of the salt probably from the water. So it's just gonna be like dry potato, okay? As you can see, there's a ton of steam coming off this. And because of that, we don't wanna add an egg yet because our egg will scramble and we don't want that in our potatoes. So we're gonna actually measure out our ricotta cheese and flour while we wait. So we're gonna do about 1/2 of a cup ricotta and about 3/4 of a cup to start on the flour. We can always add more flour if we need to. So let's open up our ricotta. This is whole milk ricotta. Again, it's a totally optional ingredient. You don't need to add it. I just really like it. Ricotta cheese is kind of the best. So we're gonna loosely measure this, right? It's about 1/2 a cup here. Mix that up. We're gonna do our flour. About 3/4 cup of flour here. Again, we'll leave our flour out. We might need more. And I'm gonna do a security check for this egg, right? I know me, I'm pretty good at cracking eggs. I really am. But I'm on camera and you never know. So I'm gonna crack this egg into a little, what is it, a 1/3 cup measure, just for safety. All right, we got our ricotta cheese, our flour, and our egg. So what we're gonna do now is just kind of mix everyone together. Right, now it's gonna form like a dough. Flour, we have them here, and I cleaned this before. So let's just kind of take it out. It's here for now. I'm gonna just throw my hands in and flour this guy up because we don't want them to fall apart when we cook them. And so see, it's very sticky, wet. So we're probably adding about another, I don't know, 1/4 to a 1/2 cup of flour on here, which is just what we want. So, see, we're not even kneading it. We're just kind of moving the dough around. Okay. And we're gonna cut this into 1/8. So we're gonna go 1/2. Cool. 1/8 or 4ths? Like this. 1/8. Yeah. So we're gonna go diagonal. Wow, this is not even. Okay, 1/6. We cut it into 6, not 1/8. I lied. Okay. I tried, all right? And they're not all even, but that's okay. Because it doesn't really matter that much. So working with each one, so here's this little guy. We have about a 1/6, not an 1/8. And we are going to roll this until it gets pretty thin. Roll, roll, roll. And I'm gonna roll all of them. I think this is about, oh gosh, they might break apart. That's okay. About 1 foot, maybe? So the bigger ones will roll a little longer. The smaller ones will roll a little smaller. Got some flour in here. We're gonna cut these about, I don't know, 1/2 inch or so. Some might be a little bigger than others, and that's okay. Move this around. And we're actually going to place them on our nonstick tin foil, our favorite baking sheet, and pop them in the fridge for about 20 minutes. Basically, water boils. So let's work on that now. Move these down. And a little bit of flour. Just gonna kind of. I know this is not all of them, but we have our sheet tray, right? I know it got a little sloppy over here. They were so nice and in line, but they're not touching. That's really the goal. And we're gonna find them in our fridge and chill them for about, like I said, I'm gonna say 5 to 10 minutes, so let me organize. Okay, so we are going to do our brown butter sage sauce. We have our water over here starting to boil for the gnocchi, which will only take about 3 minutes since it's fresh to cook. A half a pound of Kerrygold butter. So we're gonna take about 4 ounces of this. And we're gonna put this on a medium to medium high heat. We want this to melt slowly, okay? We're making brown butter. I'll tell you what brown butter is. So we're making a brown butter, and why we're doing a brown butter sauce rather than just like an olive oil and butter sauce is that butter is nuttier. It gives the gnocchi, which are super plain, a nice depth of flavor. So we still have our butter melting here. We didn't add anything to this. The sage has not been added. We just want this butter to melt low and slow. And once it's melted, we'll add the sage. Sage can also burn quickly. So we're kind of playing this game of don't burn the sauce. We're not gonna add extra salt again because remember, this is salted butter. If you don't have salted butter, then add salt. So let's add our sage in here. You can hear it, it's sizzling a little bit, and that's okay. I turned it down a little bit to a medium low. So we're just gonna really watch it. We're actually scraping up some of the brown bits on the bottom. So this is basically there. I'm actually going to turn this on all the way low and try not to stop stirring it. And we're actually going to check the bottom, right? We're gonna take some of these solids off. I'm gonna throw them here. All right, we don't want it to burn. So we're just gonna take just a little bit of the solids off. Right, we're just gonna go like this. You can see the color underneath. So we took some of the solids off. Look at that color. That's what we want. And remove it from the heat. You don't want it to keep cooking, because it will. So we have these guys right here. We're gonna work in batches. Right? Look at the non-stick foil. Nothing sticks. It's amazing. So let's give this another minute to come up to a boil. So our water is just about there. We're going to start adding these guys in batches. Okay, so we're going to they're all going to sink to the bottom, and that's perfectly fine. So we're gonna let those go and do their thing. And a couple more on her. All right, so these guys are done. So we're actually gonna fish them out and throw them into a bowl. Okay, so we're gonna put this back on a low. We can also see that some of the gnocchi are already starting to float, which is great. That'll be, you know, another minute probably or so. We'll add everyone into our sage and butter sauce. I do suggest serving this with like a small salad on the side. I will link to the chicken cutlets video that has an arugula salad with a really simple vinaigrette dressing that you could use. So I'm gonna link it right up here. So you can grab that dressing, throw a little arugula, super simple, something light because these are fairly heavy. The ricotta cheese does help lighten them though. All right. So our sauce is coming back up. Look at these babies are basically almost all floating. It's a couple sunk to the bottom, but they'll be up in a second. We're heating up our sauce. It smells so good in here. And we're gonna eat very shortly. So let's grab these guys. Toss them in here. We'll toss what's in the bowl as well. Just gonna use that same wooden spoon and mix them all together. Again, a very rich sauce, so a little arugula on the side would be nice. So let's let this get up to temp. I'm gonna actually grab some arugula, because I always have it. Take our arugula, throw a little bit on each plate. And all I'm gonna do with this, super light, just throw on some sea salt flakes. We have them all on here. Right, just little sea salt flakes. And a little bit of olive oil. Super light salad. This is basically done, so let's actually grab some to serve with. Take this off. I'm actually going to use a slotted spoon. So we're not going to take a ton of them, just a few. I mean, they're heavy. Some of that excess sauce, which is delicious. Okay. All right, we have our gnocchi, we have our little arugula salad on the side. So let's try this. Brown butter is the best. I recommend. All right, guys, this was gnocchi, brown butter and sage sauce, a little sea salt arugula salad on the side. I hope you like this video. If you do, please hit subscribe and like my videos. Thanks, guys.